Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another Buzz on the Case. We will label it in the Buzz on the Cases. I was gonna say it's just a review of the show because the show was How I Solved My Own Murder. This is on Hulu. I didn't even double check to see if this was an investigation discovery docu-series or whether or not this was something separate and it was, Hulu original. But that's where I watched it, on Hulu. So if you do want to go and check out the episode that I'm talking about, it's the Candace Parchment story. Anyway, and I had to talk about this one because this happened very close to home. Very close to home. I was raised in Clayton County, and that is exactly where we are in this case. And so, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Candace Parchment went missing after school. She went to Forest Park High, and this was April 28th, 2010. 6 hours she was missing, and her mama called the police, of course. And we have an interview by her friend. Her friend Malik is being interviewed, and so he says that he reached out to her over and over again and got nothing. Just a backstory on her: she was born in Jamaica. Her family moved to Atlanta when she was a early teen, so she spent the early part of her years, a significant amount, I should say, in Jamaica. But when they told law enforcement that this girl was missing and that she didn't come home, all of this, Clayton County PD didn't do anything. They told her, they told her parents, her friends and everything, oh, people like her go missing all the time. Okay, Clayton County PD. On the day she went missing, she got a text. Her mom, got a text from her daughter that said, I'm in Tennessee. And then one comes right behind it that says, I'm okay. And her mom, of course, didn't believe it because that's not even her language, how she speaks or whatever. And she left, and she wouldn't leave without money, her wallet, purse, nothing. She didn't take any belongings with her. So sorry about that. I had to respond to that text message. Anyway, after, finding out that she left and realizing that she had nothing with her, phone records could have really cleared up where she was and all of that, but Clayton County PD didn't do nothing. Like, they didn't look into any texts, nothing. It took them a month to look at her text messages. There was one officer that decided to do the interview, and of course he's sitting up making excuses and deflecting, saying they were so swamped with this, that, and the third, all these missing cases. Okay, well, it is what it is. They just chalked it up to she's just another runaway, because that's what their caseload was at the time. No, y'all just on bullshit, but whatever. Talking about the amount of money it takes and manpower and all of that to do a search and all of that. So we just gonna let people go missing? And your excuse is we didn't have the money to look. Excuse me? Unbelievable. 7 months go by, and then they get a tip. It's November 24th, 2010, and someone found human remains. And it's just a few yards from her house is where they found her. They found her right off Old Dixie Highway. And when I say that's like really close to my mom and daddy house, the house I grew up in, super close. In some woods. Anyway, Ashley Melvin, she was an investigator with Clayton County. Excuse me. It's a he. I forgot. I forgot Ashley was a man. He is now or retired, I don't know, but he was an investigator with Clayton County. At the time, he was a rookie back in 2010, and they sent him to the case. You know, they always don't send the black cop to the hood. They sent him over there to where the body was found. And it was just skeletal remains of Candace. Nothing was with the body. They found a t-shirt. They found a jacket. Excuse me. And they found earrings. And they used all of those articles to, you know, start their search. They looked through social media and found this picture of a girl wearing the jacket and the earrings. And of course, they confirmed it with her family that it was Candace. So now we have to figure out what this cause of death is. It was determined that it was a stab wound. And now they go to the streets to find out what's going on. Of course, don't nobody know nothing. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody talking. And now we're going to go to the high school. Okay, well, don't anybody know her in the streets, so let's go back to the school. They go to Forest Park High and start questioning all her friends. And first up is Malik. He first up on the suspect list. They look into their text messages and all of that. They don't find anything. They really have nothing there with him. That's her best friend. For real, for real. He ain't appreciate it, though. He ain't appreciate them trying to, you know, flip it or turn it into something when they're just really good friends. There were rumors going on, you know, about there being a serial killer on the loose. It was all sorts of stuff happening. I'm sure at school, you know, it was a lot of buzz going on. This girl named Monica Ambrose. I don't want to mispronounce her last name, but she went missing. And they found her as well, and she was stabbed to death. She was found in an abandoned building, and they find a few similarities in the two cases. And so the man that was arrested, you know, arrested and convicted for killing that woman, his name is damn, I didn't get his first name. Last name Hernandez. I didn't get his first name. Candace, she, you know, they thought that she had to have been his first victim. So they put in a request to the jail, you know, where he's being held, to do an interview, and they go in and show him pictures, and he's like, I don't know who that is. I don't recognize her. I've never seen her. He said he did the other ones, but not her, you know, and it makes no sense for him to own up to everything else except for this one, if he really did it, you know. So yeah, it's safe to deduce that he ain't the one. Some time passes, and they run into a guy named Trey Jenkins, and he also has a rape on his record. And he took these two girls, 17 and 18, back to his house. He got them drunk, and he R-worded them. And like I ain't already just said, I'm trying to do better on my YouTube etiquette. I really am. But anyway, he has a connection to Candace. They, you know, had a few conversations here and there, and they found out that he was indeed in the area. No, that he wasn't in the area at the time, and so, you know, he's not the one also. So we're back at square one. On October 18th, 2011, Candace's mom, she calls the police and tells them that she, you know, found Candace's diary and that they need to read it. And they read it, and on January 5th, 2010, she titled it Frightening. She titled it A Frightening Experience. And she tells a story about what happened to her one night. And this basically wraps up the case for her. She says that she snuck out with two friends. These were two boys. There was this abandoned house that they had her meet them at. And, you know, she met them there, and they basically set her up. Once there, she was hit over the head by Jermaine with a rake. And then she says Marche was blocking the door, so she couldn't leave. Jermaine then choked her and started unzipping her pants. He gets interrupted by her phone ringing, and they try to take her phone, and in the struggle for the phone, this car pulls up, you know, so they see the lights, and so the boys panic, of course, and they let her go. They beg her not to tell. Investigators asked Malik, about Marche and Jermaine. And he says he knows Marche. They know each other from making music. He's a producer getting into the rap game. He trusted Marche. He knew him. Police go right over there to the jail system and go and try to find these folk. And, of course, Marche locked up right now. And at the time, though, he was free. At the time of her murder and all of that, he was free. And he also lived in the area near where her body was found. Both of those boys went to high school with her. They both went to Forest Park High. Investigators go and talk to Marche, and they asked him about, the sexual assault back in the day, back in high school. And he says, oh, yeah, I saw her when I was out playing basketball. It was this guy following her. They like, I'm sure they was locked in. He talking about it was a creepy looking Hispanic guy. And she walked into the woods, and he didn't see or hear anything after that. His description, however, really matches Hernandez, the guy that was arrested for the murder of that other girl. But they didn't already talk to him, so they know it wasn't him. He says that he asked her if she was okay while she was walking in the woods, and she said she was fine, and she had her pepper spray. Just lying, just lying. Police need Jermaine, to basically flip on Marche, and so they get him on the line, and they get them both on the line and in there at the same time. Jermaine immediately tells, on Marche. He tells them that Marche is the one that killed her. Like, man, that boy, he killed her. Killed that girl. And Jermaine said he was scared of Marche. He was scared. I said, oh, you was scared. You wasn't scared when you was participating in a full-on sexual assault, but you was scared of him. Like, he made you do it. Whatever, Jermaine. Because they asked him about that, and, he puts it all on Marche. It was him. It was him. He says, Marche was worried after the fact, that she was going to tell. And so he texted him one day, hey, we should go kill Candace. So they need Marche to confess to it. And they tell him, they go in and talk to him and tell him that they found DNA on her body. They ain't found no DNA. She was a skeleton. So he don't know that. And he too dumb to realize that they really probably wouldn't have any DNA. But he falls for it. And, he starts talking, he says she was walking home. He followed her into the woods, and, he says he, ran up from behind her, grabbed her up, talking about he was hugging her. You grabbed her up like that and choked her out. Hugging. That ain't a hug. It's just the fact that he still, even in his confession, is trying to compartmentalize like it wasn't him. Like, that's not what I meant to do. That's exactly what you meant to do. You intended to run up on her and choke her out. So don't say it was some kind of accident. Oh, I hugged her too hard. No. Because from what they say, I guess from the way her shoes were or whatever, they could tell that she was lifted off the ground. He also went back and visited the body over and over again, several times, to make sure it had not been found, because he put a mattress over her. Afterwards, after his confession, he had the audacity to write a letter to her mother talking about how remorseful he was. The whole letter is so narcissistic. It's all about him. And it's like, this is not about you. You're supposed to be sorry, remorseful, repenting, all of those things for what you have done to this victim. It ain't about what's been done to you or how this has made you feel. Crazy. He's indicted in 2012. And they read the diary entry in the court. That seals his fate. That seals their fate. Because both of them are, they're co-defendants. They find Marche guilty of attempted rape and murder. They sentenced him to life without parole. Jermaine pled guilty to the attempted rape, and he was sentenced to 10 years. And so justice was served. Jermaine ass needed to be in there. Well, maybe not for life, because I mean, maybe he should have been in there for like 15 to 25 years. Honestly, you attempted to sexually assault somebody. You need more than 10 years. Like, be glad it ain't the rest of your life. But we definitely absolutely needed at least 25 years off that ass. Because I'm just trying to figure out why he only got 10 years. But anyway, I digress. We got a little bit of justice. We got to listen. A win is a win. A win is a win. But this case resonated. It was right in my backyard. Knowing those types of things, it's kind of jarring, right? Like, it's kind of like, oh my God, that's like down the street. It was some man doing this to this girl. Like, and time and everything was just moving. And that was happening to her right in my backyard. It's terrible. It's really terrible. I'm glad that her murderer was convicted, and that it wasn't swift justice. It wasn't swift justice at all, because like, enough of writing off Black women as runaways and prostitutes and crackheads. Like, we can't go missing, and like things can't happen to us. Like, it's really crazy that they dismiss our pain and our trauma and what happens to us. I just don't understand. Had it been a white woman or a white girl that had went missing, the amount of resources they would put into finding this child, they didn't even get up off their ass for, I don't know, what was it, 7 months before they even tried to do anything? That's ridiculous. Whole year go by, still ain't did nothing. It's unfortunate. It really is. I really like the fact that we highlight these types of things on true crime documentaries. I love to highlight the foolishness, that is some of these police forces, because everybody need to know. Everybody need to see what type of a sham of a investigation it was. That's what we got from the Dahmer documentary. Y'all blew it. Y'all fucking blew it. Yep, you blew it because they love to try to keep it under wraps, like nobody knows. I'm waiting on. I know that there's a Kendrick. What was that child's last name? Johnson, Kendrick Johnson. I think that was his name. The child in Valdosta who was rolled up in the mat and left there. He didn't roll himself in no mat. And I'm tired of he was reaching down for a shoe defense. Like, there's a documentary out there about it. There are a few, of course. But I'm ready for the fictional adaptation so that we can get our spin and some of the truths really told. Because ain't no way. Ain't no motherfucking way. It was an accident. Anyway. I hope Candace is resting peacefully, knowing that her killer and the other one, are sitting up in jail. And hopefully they hopefully they see your face every time they close their eyes. Anyway, let me go. I got not a conference call, but I got a FaceTime date. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby. I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.